ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting, enthralling, death-defying edition. I don't know how much we're defying death here, of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. I'm Mr. Warren Hayes. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday night. It is the beginning of the week in professional wrestling, and here we are settling in to get a preview of what's going to happen in the world of televised, or at least, online professional. Look, we're talking about, God, I love to complicate things. Have you guys noticed how much I really enjoy to complicate things? We're going to be previewing WWE Raw, the first Raw on the week of WrestleMania, right? This is it here. This is the thing. Big Raw tonight. We also have AEW Dark Elevation happening in about 28 minutes. There's a lot of stuff to cover. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a beautiful Easter celebration, which,ever way you decide to pass. Or maybe you're like, hey, you know what? Easter ain't my thing. And that's fine too. The important thing is that you had, not you, that you had a wonderful weekend. I feel like I'm really up close. Do you guys feel like I could be a little there? That's a little better, isn't it? I was like, man, I feel like I'm in these people's face, like hardcore. Like no one wants me that close. Not even Kristen wants me that close. This is better, right? It's a little more airy, a little more room to breathe. There you go. But yeah, I hope everything went well, and I want to thank you all for joining me here again this evening. Thank you again very much. Flowman, nice to see you. Welcome to the chat. Aaron Entertainment as well. 5th generation Carney Joseph with it. Hello. Imran Abbasi, good to see you as well. I mean, look, this is where we're at right now. We're on the verge of WrestleMania stuff and everything. And hey, if you want to hang around with some great people, head on over to the Mr. Warren Hayes Discord. Link is in the description. That's always a fantastic thing that you can do for your own amusement, for your own joy, because you love wrestling, because you like talking about wrestling. Go hang out there. I pop in. Got a whole bunch of people who hang around there. It's good times. I'm enjoying starting the Monday night slates at 6:30 to cover Elevation. I'll see if I'm keeping an eye on things. We'll see if we maintain this or if I go back to 7 p.m. to cover, just for Raw. I'll see how things go. We'll see how things go. But for the time being, hey, let's start talking about it. Let's go right ahead and talk about tonight's AEW Elevation card. Again, a whole bunch of matches made available for us tonight. Of course, on AEW's YouTube channel, starting at 7 p.m. The Dark Order's number 10 is going to be taking out my boy, Danny Lamelight. So that'll be fun. Baron Black is going to get crushed by Lance Archer. And as they mention here, Lance Archer accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts. But you kind of have to wonder if Jake Roberts' use for Lance Archer hasn't been what's the word I'm looking for, worn out at this point. Maybe we don't need Jake Roberts anymore, especially since Lance has been doing his own promos recently, and he's proven to be quite good at it, rather adept. You sort of wonder, well, what's the point of Jake now? Jake was brought in specifically to get him over, establish him as a heel, and have Jake there as the manipulator, the mastermind behind it all. So it all worked, it all came together, but yeah, so we'll be the question that I have is, do we need to continue on this path? That's what I'm wondering. You never know. So we'll be having that tonight. I want to say hello to Ben, Phantomark. Good to see you. Welcome. We have a couple of AEW Elevation, Dark Elevation, Dark Elevation debuts tonight, such as Hangman Page who's going to be taking on Bill Collier tonight. So that's exciting. Cool to see like the bigger talent as well on Elevation Dark. That's interesting. Barry Morales is going to be taking on Michael Nakazawa. Matt Hardy is going to take over not take over. Well, he probably is going to take over. I like this, you know, the little sprinkling of that feud that Matt Hardy has with the Dark Order here against Alan Angels. Tesha Price is going to take on Ryo Mizunami, who's still around in North America. Big Swole is going to be fighting Jasmine Allure. We've also got another debut tonight on Elevation. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I think it's important to point out the DMD part, since she said it was the 3 most epic letters in professional wrestling, right? As opposed to the 3 most dangerous letters. What is it that Randy says? Yeah, I think that's what he says, right? The 3. She'll be making her Elevation debut against Alex Gracia, which, hey, you know what? This should be a lot of fun. This should really, really be a lot of fun. So the idea, the idea here is that Gracia is one of Thunder Rosa's students, right? So is Britt Baker still sending messages to Thunder Rosa, you know, in that regards, being like, hey, you know, I'm still coming for you. You're not done with me yet. I'm still fixated on getting to you, Thunder Rosa. So she's gonna try and go for Gracia. Gracia is great. I mean, this should really be a fun match. So I'm excited to see this. This should be a good one. We also have Colt Cabana taking on Max Caster. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see it today, but Colt Cabana's mom dropped a diss track on Max Caster. Indeed she did. Indeed she did. Pretty entertaining. It was fun, you know, just fun stuff. I think it's fine. And that's it. So Colt Cabana, Max Caster, you know, I think Caster is he's on a winning streak, right? He's on a 7-match winning streak as far as singles competition goes. Yeah, I mean, scoring a win on Colt Cabana here would be a big thing, you know. And I've even seen people who say that, hey, you know what, if Cabana wins here, he's pulling off an upset. I'm like, really? Interesting. I mean, that's how they're booking Caster, right? They want to make a big deal out of him, and they should. He's a young guy. He's got great talent, extreme amounts of charisma. And I'm not going to say this just to sound facetious, because I know a lot of people compare him to John Cena for obvious reasons, but the kid reminds me a lot of Dwayne Johnson. Back when The Rock was just shifting out of the the third generation superstar thing and was pairing up with was a member of the Nation of Domination, you know. Just, you know, smart mouth kid. You're not quite sure where they're going with this. I think there's a lot of room for Max Caster to grow here. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to see this. Oh, and Evan Wright is here. How you doing, Evan? He says Colt hasn't wrestled a singles match since November, so I'd call it an upset. Right? Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't disagree with that. But the point is that I think, you know, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of potential in Max Caster, is what I'm trying to say. And then the other big match that we are getting on top of that is Matt and Mike Sydal taking on Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. You know, basically Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page are on the same wavelength. They're tired of being held back. You know, they won't stand around anymore and wait for opportunities to fall on their lap. They're going to get what they deserve. So they're going to start straight off the bat, going after the Seidel brothers. Clearly, Sky and Ethan Page are going to win this. I'm still a little bummed, just a little bummed that they're doing. I don't want to say they're doing Scorpio Sky dirty, because they're including him in this angle, in this team with Ethan Page, and I mean it's not a bad thing, but I would have gone for an extended feud with Darby Allin for a while, and have Scorpio Sky be the guy to take the title off of Darby, despite the fact that he lost. Just peck and go after him. Rankings don't matter for the TNT title, right? Let's not forget that. So fun. Looks like a lot of fun. Great card they have set up here tonight. Want to say hello to DGMC, who has entered the chat. Good to see you, DGMC. Let's go right ahead and start talking about tonight's WWE Raw, provided to us by none other than, wait, where's the author? Brad Zack. Zackamania is running wild, ladies and gentlemen. Our Brad Zack is back. Brad Zack is back. It might not be as entertaining to say as Michael Burdick, but we appreciate Brad Zack here. Zackamania. Make it happen. Drew McIntyre tonight looks to overcome the obstacle of King Corbin before WrestleMania. Now, some people would like to, such as Brad Zack, would like to define, would like to define Baron Corbin as an obstacle. Most of us would like to consider him more like a pothole, maybe, maybe, faded lanes, the lane paint. I don't even know what to call them. When those start to fade and you're not quite sure, the turn off, the arrows when they start to fade. I wouldn't call them an obstacle. There's a lot of things I'd call them, but I wouldn't call them an obstacle. Let's read the copy provided to us by Brad Zack. Zackmania. It was an offer fit for a king, and King Corbin, knew it. After Drew McIntyre was outnumbered and attacked by Corbin and WWE champion Bobby Lashley in hopes of taking out the Scottish Warrior before WrestleMania, McIntyre aims to retaliate this Monday when he squares off against SmackDown's royalty in one-on-one action. Can McIntyre overcome this final obstacle? It's not an obstacle, Brad. Zackamania. Zackamania is running mild right now, I'm going to tell you. On the road to WrestleMania, will Corbin succeed to take him out for good? Okay, so. Here's, it's okay to the degree where this is all making sense in the vision that that Baron Corbin accepted Bobby Lashley's invitation to the whole locker room to be like, hey, you guys want to take Drew McIntyre out? Come take Drew McIntyre out, kind of thing. And Baron Corbin was happy to oblige. That's fine, But here's what grinds my gears. Here's what gets to me. Baron Corbin is he's on the other roster. He's on SmackDown. So what's his end goal here? Like, it makes this is how much sense it makes for Baron Corbin to jump to Raw to take out a champion, to take out a challenger for the Raw champion, a champion he wouldn't even be able to challenge for because he's on the other brand. Am I right? Tell me if I'm missing something here. Please, chat, let me know. Tim Traver, good to see you. Welcome, pal, to the chat. But seriously, like, is there something I'm not getting here in regards to why Baron Corbin would be motivated to do this? Now, they tried to make sense of this by dipping into Drew and Baron Corbin's history, right? Which they do have, you know, where Corbin was like, I used to carry you, you know, whatever. But it's also stupid because I don't understand. This is the thing, is that I don't, why would Baron Corbin cross brands to do this? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic. Is there a purse? Is there money attached to this? Oh, well, if it's money, why did so money is the impetus? He's motivated by Lashley giving a purse. I thought Bobby Lashley was offering a title shot to whoever took out Drew McIntyre. Okay. Then I missed it. I apologize then. Then it makes sense. And I'll stop bitching. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Baron Corbin runs in. He wants to get the money and hit the high road. That's fine. I don't know why. I mean, the thing is that Baron Corbin has been reduced to this position, right? To the he's been reduced to the concept of being a jobber to the stars, right? That's essentially what he is. Baron Corbin hasn't done anything of any significance since he poured dog food on Roman Reigns. So this is what happens when, again, folks, and I'm sorry to be a broken record, we should call this the Mr. Broken Record Show. This is what it means when I tell you that wins and losses do matter in the eyes of the audience. Because if Baron Corbin was not booked like a schmuck, maybe there'd be some interest in this match. But just saying Baron Corbin is villainous, Baron Corbin's a mean guy, we don't care. He doesn't win matches. He's a schlub. He's a second tier player. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As I'm singing the song right now. But that's the thing. Despite how many times we're told wins and losses don't matter, they do. Ultimately, they do. Because now we're rolling into the go-home show before WrestleMania. And this match here, this main event, most likely, I'm assuming it's going to be the main event, is of complete uninterest. You're like, there's nothing to get excited about. Now, I want to preface, I'm going to supplement a little something here. Baron Corbin is not a bad wrestler. Far from it. It's like WWE wants him to wrestle a certain style, but I still have very, very fond memories of his King of the Ring tournament. What is it, like 18 months ago? Where he was on fire and he was winning his matches clean on top of that. And was like, look, this is how Baron Corbin should be booked, period. A heel who gets the job done. But no, then next thing you know, he gets, he gets beat up by The Rock and Becky Lynch on the opening SmackDown. It's like, the thing here, ultimately, that I want to say, I just went off track for a second, is that if, Baron Corbin can bring it, and Baron Corbin always tries out little different things. He always tries to bring a little more to the table within the context, the leeway that WWE will let them take. Again, this is something we've known, but in an interview just today was released, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, said that, WWE specifically asked people, don't steal the show. You cannot steal the show tonight. These things are planned. You can't just go out and have a match that'll tear down the house if you don't have the house's approval, which is really, really, really sad, because then you realize just how much this talent is being held back from doing absolutely insane, crazy shit. They really are. And Baron Corbin's wrestling style is one of those that is being held back because of his character, because of how they want him to be presented. Look, there is the potential for a good match here tonight, but I can't see anyone getting really excited about it. And here's something else that is really hard to get excited about. The Hurt Business continue to implode as Bobby Lashley takes on Cedric Alexander. This is our boy Brad Zach. Zachmania, who wrote this. The Hurt Business is over for Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, but their beef with Bobby Lashley is far from it. After being kicked out of the group and brutally attacked by the almighty, Alexander's on a mission to right the wrong when he goes toe-to-toe with the WWE Champion this Monday. Will Lashley show off his dominance one more time before the bop-bop-bee-bop-boo-boo? So, it came out, lots of reports, lots of rumors to the effect that the breakup of the Hurt Business came from one man and one man only. And his name starts with a V, and it ends with Vince McMahon. Apparently, this was not a decision that was approved by anyone. Apparently, MVP and Bobby Lashley lobbied hard to avoid the Hurt Business from breaking down, from being split up at this point. And apparently, this had a shock. This was a big shock to morale backstage. Now, I'm going to go off. I don't want to go off too much on a tangent, but, when we talk about Vince being completely disconnected from his product and what's working and what's not, this is it right here. Like, he has never been, I don't think you have much more proof, if these reports are true, of course. We always have to keep that in mind. If this is indeed a call from Vince McMahon to break up the Hurt Business, and he has no idea how to promote anymore. He doesn't understand what his audience is into. He doesn't understand what's working, what's going over. The Hurt Business worked, and it was cohesive. It was smart. It was intelligently done. Everything made sense in the formation of the stable. We saw the stable come to life. It wasn't just all of a sudden these guys come out of nowhere and they start fighting under one same name together. It was like we saw them appear. Week after week, we saw the cohesiveness come together, and then Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin came out as the Hurt Business. Then they recruited Cedric Alexander. Like, it all worked. I don't know why you'd stifle the pushes of any of these guys here, because that's what's going to happen. Anyway, whatever, right? At this point, I haven't seen many disagreements to the idea that splitting up the Hurt Business this soon was a bad idea. Even from some hardcore WWE fans. I don't think anyone... I think it's only the blindest of the blind who've been going, well, let's see how this plays out. There's no let's see how this plays out. They're breaking up a successful and compelling stable that had all the championship, well, except that, that had all the major championships for, maybe the space of 2 weeks, but they never capitalized on that. They never made it happen. Like, they could have had something as compelling down the road as, Evolution or the NWO or, that's what really fucking sucks here. And the fact that MVP and Bobby Lashley were going to try and lobby to keep the band together, essentially, just shows that these guys had each other's back. Shows that they were ready to continue working together. Again, if the reports are true. Well, I'm just taking them at face value here. Such a bummer. Asuka and Rhea Ripley to collide with WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, says our boy Zach. Brad Zach. If their volatile contract signing was any indication, volatile is not the word I'd use. I'd call it boring. Asuka and Rhea Ripley are about to tear each other up on the grandest stage of them all. Then no, absolutely not. Their contract signing did not give me the impression that they were going to do any of that. Sorry. Wrong, Brad Zack. But first, the WrestleMania opponents will attempt to coexist. These are his words, not mine. It is his words. They will attempt to coexist as they face WWE's Women's Tag Team Champion Shayna Baszler and the other one this Monday night on Raw in a non-title matchup. Why is this match taking place? Why are we watching this show? Why is we watching this match? Why is it happening? It's a non-title match. What is the interest in any of the parties involved here? If at the very least, it was a match for the title, then at least it'd be like, well, okay, now there's a reason for Rhea and Osaka to be in the same match, but there is no reason for Osaka and Rhea Ripley to be in a match together tonight. It makes absolute zero sense. And guys, gals, we just saw this fucking angle happen again with Bianca and Sasha Banks 3 weeks ago. It hasn't even been a full month, a full lunar cycle since we've been done with the same fucking angle on the SmackDown side. What the hell are we doing with this? It makes no sense at all. This is the laziest fucking booking, to put two singles people who are having a big match in tag teams. I am so sick of it. I don't understand. I really don't understand. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand how anyone can stand up for this type of booking from a company, billion-dollar company, has writing staff, has producers, has up-teen resources, and they always come back to the same boring, haphazard shit that doesn't make any sense. Why are Asuka and Rhea Ripley in a match this week if it's not for the titles? It doesn't work. Nothing works. And let's be clear and honest and upfront with each other, folks. Let's go last November, the WWE Women's Division has been booked like shit. It's been booked like absolute trash. There's nothing compelling going on. There's some saving graces on NXT, but there were some piss poor decisions, especially around the NXT Women's Tag Team titles that were made. But the division is booked like shit. They don't give a fuck about it. Where the fuck is Bayley at WrestleMania? Where the fuck is Charlotte at WrestleMania? None of this is making sense. And Xavier Woods and AJ Styles are going to have a rematch 5 days before WrestleMania. Again, we've seen this match just a couple of weeks ago, and now I'm not even reading the copy. It's not even worth it. It's so frustrating. This is the Raw go-home show for WrestleMania, folks. Are you excited? It's just so frustrating. It is so invariably frustrating. But I'll keep saying, the WrestleMania card has some really choice matches on it. The build is just... Anyway. Hey, we're going to wrap this up now. So y'all who want to go watch AEW Dark Evolution can be sure to come back here on Wednesday for another slate. There we go. Let's wrap this up. Have a great Monday night, everyone. Enjoy the wrestling.